Curse. Beware the curse. I remember these words clearly now, the words of a dying man. That night, so long ago now it seems, passed like a fever dream. It has been 3 weeks and 1 day since we last saw that ship sink below the waves. The blaze had been a beautiful poetic metaphor for the new beginnings that I thought were coming. In hindsight, however, I now see my naivete. Our journey south led us, in good time I might add, around the tip of Africa into its eastern waters. The map was clear. Head northeast from there. Finding this island was the next problem. We have sailed in circles since, and now the wind has stopped. I fear the worst. But I remain confident we will arrive soon. My navigator has also informed me of a shadow on the horizon. With this, the crew has become uneasy with each passing day. It's in light of this unease that I have seen with a renewed lucidity that leading a ship requires one to make increasingly demanding decisions. This applies double for leading pirates, though it loathes me to even write these words here. Men who have defected from their previous crews to join mine in search for, as many have said, wenches and rum. Though I have the utmost disdain for such base thinking, I cannot deny the core truth of who we are, or, more correctly, who we've become. "Captain! Captain!" a voice shouts, coupled with repeating pounding on my cabin door. Where had the time gone, I think? My desk candle was almost melted, and the orange hue of dusk was fast approaching. How long have I been in here? The commotion outside my door becomes rowdier, causing me to run to meet whoever is trying to pound their way in. I open to a scene of sheer chaos and noise. Groups of ragged, dirty men fill the scene behind who I now see as my disheveled and increasingly thin navigator. "What's happening here?" I ask him, in a state of initial shock. My head still swims from leaning over my journal. Then again I reason it might be the mead. "I haven't a clue, sir. They all began fighting suddenly, like a spirit had overtaken them." "Don't speak such nonsense," I say while drawing my pistol. A shot into the sky silences the crowd. "Who among you is responsible for this ruckus?" I raise my voice to command respect, but it appears many are still too heated to give any. "Aye, the captain himself decides to join us, eh?" came a voice from the back, eliciting a few snorts and chuckles. "Who started this?" I say, while reloading my pistol, ignoring the commentary. No one answers this time. I scan the crowd. All look too tired, nearly starving. The look of a starving man is not so unlike that of a frightened beast. Such instinct drives them to do anything for survival, which is when I notice a stale loaf of bread half crushed on the deck. "Clean up this mess, and I'll go below deck until my word." Hesitation followed. I finished packing my pistol and cocked it. Everyone dispersed without further complaint. I turned to my navigator. "How long have we been without wind?" "4 days, sir." "And the shadow on the horizon?" "By all accounts, we should have already arrived, but—" "But what?" "It hasn't got any closer. Even before the wind stopped, and now it's gone again." "I see. Where's Henry?" "Behind you, sir." There he was, too. He looked equally rough in appearance, with the same wild look in his eyes. It felt as though I hadn't seen him in quite some time. "Henry, what's happening here?" I could see the anger in his eyes, the frustration. "The crew is weak from hunger, and we're running out of fresh water. You said you knew these waters, Captain." "Hunger?" I say. "We had provisions for at least 2 months." He sighed and gestured for me to follow him below deck. I could not remember when I last walked these galleys, when I last talked to my crew. My mind was fuzzy with details from the past week. In the gloom, I did not see the glares nor the deterioration, only the vague shapes of swinging hammocks and the sound of shallow breathing. He continued on down another ladder until we reached the storeroom outside the kitchen. "Look for yourself," he says to me. I opened the door with a creak of rusted hinges. The smell made me turn away in disgust. Rot. It was the smell of spoiled meat. "How?" I ask. Henry's face remains unchanging, but I now see it in his eyes that something else is amiss. "It happened last week," while you were stowed away in your cabin. We do not know when, but this is all we have left." "A week?" I ask in shock. "I've been away a week?" This time his face twitches in growing rage. "Aye." Indeed, a captain must make difficult decisions. In my time aboard this ship, we have had resounding success on almost all fronts. Henry climbs the ladder and leaves me with a decay. I also smell moldy wood mixed with the smell of death. But now, I muse, we are slowly falling apart in a manner that seems supernatural. The thought comes unbidden. "Curse, beware the curse," I whisper to myself. No, such things don't exist. I start climbing the ladder back up. We are not men of superstition, but of reason. I notice the crew quarters are empty as I walk through. Headed back up above deck, I hear talking. No, we are of a new age. We will find a way through this, and even if it takes... As I appear on deck, my crew surrounds me. "We have been dead on the water for days, Captain. Orders?" Henry asks. "We are to be patient and do what we can to survive. We knew the risk coming here." This elicited groans from the crowd. "You're going to kill us out here," he responded, raising his voice, ensuring the entire crowd heard. "What was that?" I say, beginning to lose my own patience. There is indeed a fine line between questioning and mutiny, a razor-thin line, and my own first mate was coming very, very close to it. "Your frustration is no cause for insubordination. Neither will be tolerated here," I say, gritting my teeth. By instinct, my hand drifts towards my pistol. "But what are we to do?" he responds, clearly on the verge of losing his temper. But another voice takes our attention. "Unspotted, Captain!" the navigator shouts, breaking the tension. All eyes turn to the wheel where he stands with a scope in the hand. "North, sir!" I draw my own and peer with shaking hands, and indeed see an island. It's at first a green blur, but soon materializes into a solid form, like a fog had been lifted, like a mirage, I say aloud. I walk to the front of the ship and feel the steady rise and fall as it plows through the waves. "You wanted your answer? Aye, there it is!" I yell to the men on deck. They all cheer and rush to their stations. All but one. As the ship reaches shallow waters, I order them to drop anchor and prepare the boats. Walking towards middeck, my foot cracks a rotted plank. I ignore this and address Henry. "We'll talk of this later. Double-check our equipment. I want to be prepared for anything." "Aye." He walks away. One last look through the scope and I smile. Curse. What curse? The wind rattles the rigging in response. Now it's time to see what this place truly has in store.